Ever feel like you're stuck in one of those true crime documentaries that just keeps you on the edge of your seat?
Where truth is stranger than fiction.
Exactly. And you find yourself glued to the screen, trying to piece together the puzzle.
I know that feeling, the kind of stories that stick with you long after the credits roll.
Well, that's what we're diving into today. The unsettling case of Cindy James.
A case that has all the elements of a true crime thriller. Alleged stalking, mysterious incidents, and a tragic end that still has people debating what really happened.
Buckle up, because this one's a wild ride. Cindy James, a nurse from Vancouver, reported being relentlessly harassed for nearly 7 years.
7 years. Can you imagine the toll that would take on someone? The constant fear, the uncertainty.
It's almost unfathomable. What we're talking about is over 100 reported incidents of harassment.
100. That's almost unimaginable. What kind of harassment are we talking about?
Everything from threatening phone calls in the middle of the night to finding sinister messages left on her doorstep. Her home was even vandalized multiple times.
I remember reading about this case. Some of the details were particularly disturbing.
Oh, absolutely. The level of cruelty was just chilling. Like finding her dog hanged by its leash, or the time the word slut was spray painted on her house.
It's like something out of a horror movie, designed to maximize fear and intimidation. The psychological impact of that kind of sustained harassment.
It's just heartbreaking. You'd think that with so many reported incidents, the police would have been able to catch whoever was tormenting her.
Well, that's where the case takes a truly perplexing turn. While some of these events were undeniably real, like the time Cindy was physically assaulted, others seemed almost staged, leaving investigators with more questions than answers.
You mean like deliberately placed to mislead the investigation?
Precisely. Certain things, like finding items rearranged in her home or receiving strange gifts, led some investigators to suspect that Cindy might have fabricated some or even all of the harassment.
So they were considering the possibility that she was making it all up. But why? What would be the motivation?
Some theorized it could be a cry for attention, a way to regain control in a life that felt increasingly chaotic. Imagine feeling so unheard, so desperate for someone to believe your terror.
I can see how that line of thinking could arise, but it seems incredibly insensitive, especially given the very real danger she faced.
Absolutely, and that's the heart of the controversy surrounding this case. Cindy's family and friends were adamant that she was genuinely terrified. They maintain that the police were too quick to dismiss her claims, failing to take her fears seriously.
It's a horrifying position to be in, trapped between unimaginable fear and a growing distrust from the very people meant to protect you.
Exactly. And this tension, this breakdown of trust between Cindy, her loved ones, and law enforcement is a recurring theme in this story.
So where does the story go from there? We know that it doesn't have a happy ending.
Tragically, in 1989, the case took that devastating turn. Cindy's body was found.
Miles away from her abandoned car, right? But it wasn't a simple hit and run or anything like that. The details surrounding her car were part of what made her death so suspicious.
You're right. Her car was found with her purse and ID still inside.
Which, to me, doesn't scream, I'm running away or I want to disappear.
It's a crucial detail that doesn't quite fit the narrative of someone choosing to vanish. Then, 7 miles away, her body is discovered in a field. But here's where it gets even more perplexing.
And if I remember correctly, the position of her body was tied off.
That's a crucial observation. Authorities ruled her death a suicide, suggesting she'd ingested a lethal dose of drugs. But, and this is a significant but, her hands were tied.
Which, unless she was some kind of contortionist, doesn't really track with the suicide theory.
Exactly. This one detail throws the entire conclusion into question. Could someone have forced her to take those drugs? Was the entire scene staged to make it look like she took her own life?
So we're left with these unsettling possibilities. Was there an unknown stalker, someone operating in the shadows, orchestrating this horrific campaign against Cindy? Or could there be something more, something hidden in Cindy's past that holds the key to understanding this complex and tragic puzzle?
We're left to grapple with those very questions. What role, if any, did her ex-husband, a psychiatrist, play in all of this?
It's like trying to solve a jigsaw puzzle with half the pieces missing, and it makes you question everything.
Ultimately, the Cindy James case serves as a stark reminder that some mysteries may never be fully solved. It forces us to confront the complexities of mental health, the limitations of evidence, and the uncomfortable truth that sometimes, despite our best efforts, the answers we seek may forever remain elusive.
It's a case that stays with you, urging you to dig deeper, to search for those missing pieces. It also highlights how crucial context is. What was truly happening in Cindy's life? What pressures might she have been facing? The answers, if they exist, might lie hidden in those seemingly insignificant details.
Details that, when pieced together, might just illuminate the path to the truth.
It's a reminder that sometimes the most unsettling mysteries are those that defy easy explanations.